Hey there, Agile Adventurer. Just a quick question. What if, for the price of a fancy coffee or half a pizza, you could unlock over 700 hours of the best Agile content on the planet? That's audio, video, e-courses, books, presentations, all that you can think of. But you can also join live calls with world-class practitioners and hang out in a flame war-free and AI slop-clean Slack with the sharpest minds in the game. Oh, and yes, you get direct access to me, Vasco, your Scrum Master Toolbox podcast. No, this is not a drill. It's the Scrum Master Toolbox membership. And it's your unfair advantage in the Agile world. So if you want to know more, go check out scrummastertoolbox.org/membership. That's scrummastertoolbox.org/membership. And check out all the goodies we have for you. Do it now. But if you're not doing it now, let's listen to the podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Thursday, Success Thursday, of course, the most important question of the week, this week with Luca Cotta Ramusino. Hey, Luca, welcome back.
Vasco, let's do this.
Let's do this. It's a pleasure to have you here to talk about something that many perhaps don't assign to a typical construction work. And that is, of course, the use of Agile retrospectives in a construction project. So you've been applying this, of course. So what have you learned about facilitating reflection and retrospectives in construction projects?
Okay. Retrospective is something I also got from Scrum, okay? I am also a Scrum product owner, and I found a nice parallel when studying the Toyota way in Hansei, which is reflection, okay? Introspection. Well, basically, how can you improve what you're doing if you keep doing the same thing you've been doing? Okay, this is the big question. You need a moment to stop and think back on what you have done and can you do this better? Okay, that is the reason why you should stop and think. During COVID, if you recall, it might have been a little different in different nations because the health organizations differ, but general rule was, all right, don't be in a room with other people unless absolutely necessary, okay? And one other thing that you had to do was to use hand sanitizer frequently, to wear masks. Anyway, long story short, there's this term that came up to describe a moment of retrospective at the end of a working day. The definition is not mine. It's by Colin Milberg. But I love the definition, and I have been applying the technique. So he called this reflect and disinfect. So at the end of the working day, people were maybe, putting away their tools or, getting ready to close the working day and go home. You also had a number of health procedures you had to perform. And this is the reflect and disinfect. While you were disinfecting, you also had a chance to speak freely. And this was very, very, very informal, okay? So no meeting notes, just people sharing what they thought was interesting about their working day. And in a retrospective, if you think about it, you need to answer three basic questions. First of all, what should we continue doing? We know it's working, okay? So let's celebrate that we got something right, okay? What should we stop doing? We have ascertained that it's not good for the project, okay? And third, what should we start doing? As in experimenting a way of doing what we are doing, only better, okay? And this is how you go about your reflect and disinfect. And it takes all of 15 minutes. You know, by the time you've taken off your safety boots and put away your tool and use the hand sanitizer, you have discussed all three questions.
It's one of the things that really strikes me with that. First of all, I love the name of the practice, right? Reflect and disinfect. I'm sure we can come up with a different name for software, but the practice name
Yeah.
is absolutely brilliant. And then the second thing that is not often discussed in software circles is that you did this every single day and you try to make it as informal as possible. And this is so cool. And of course, we know that quality circles from Total Quality Management and TPS or Toyota Production System have been there for many years. But in software, we kind of tend to resist the idea of reflecting because we're, as you say, so busy doing what we need to do that we have no time to do it better. But then we eventually need to have time to do it twice, as it usually goes. And this ability of creating that daily reflection is really valuable.
Yeah, we're so busy mopping the floor that nobody turns the faucet off.
Exactly. But of course, as we do these retrospectives, we are doing them with the intention of helping the teams that we support, helping the organizations we are part of. So when you think about your work applying lean and agile to construction, what metrics, what signs, what are you looking for to ensure that you are contributing to the success of the project and of course the teams and the organization that you work with?
To me, there are two very important metrics that are used on construction sites, and they come from a collaborative collaborative planning method called the last planner method. It's called last planner because planning is done by the people who are closest to the work. Last as in I'm actually at the edge of the work. You know, there's not another layer of management under me. And they are called PPC, percentage of plan complete, and RNC, so reasons for not completing something. And to me, they are both invaluable. PPC, so meaning what percentage did we get completed this week out of everything that we said we would complete. So you can think of a construction project as a network of promises, okay? It's on Tuesday, if you have completed that on Monday night, okay? This is like a promise that two different teams make to one another. Now, if the promise is maintained, then you get to the end. If the promise is broken, so to speak, then you are stuck. You cannot progress in your work. So the whole point of planning together is to establish a reliable promise. Okay? I can rely on you saying that you are going to take 5 people on the roof to do this, and that, and you will be done by Thursday, end of work day. Okay? Measuring the percentage of plan complete allows you to see how reliable your promises are. Okay? I mean, if you get 100% PPC, then you're cheating. Come on, you're just come on. No, you want your PPC to look good and impress the boss. But
which would be no surprise, especially if
which would
bonuses
be
are
no
attached
surprise,
to
but
it.
it's not going to help complete that hospital or car park or whatever it is you're building. Okay. Reasons for not completion, okay, the RNC to me is just as important because it shows where you should concentrate. What is going different in this project? What is behaving differently from your expectations? And that is why you measure reasons for non-completion. And I have found that after a few weeks into a project, the problems, the missed deadlines tend to concentrate, aggregate in 2 or 3 problem areas. You know, it could be we have a material delivery problem, okay? Or we have a crew handover problem. It's important that you focus on these reasons so that you can improve your throughput going forward.
So when you think about PPC, this kind of highlights the importance of knowing what complete means, because as you illustrated in a couple of episodes ago, if you have a wall complete, but actually the pipes behind the wall are all the wrong pipes, then you can't count that wall as complete. So we need to somehow get to an understanding of what complete means. And in Scrum, we have this concept of the definition of done. So what does it mean to be done with something? And I imagine that when you're talking about percentage complete, you're also talking about having a clear shared understanding of what complete means. Is that correct?
That is correct. So a reliable promise has a number of identifiable qualities. You know, first of all, you can say no. If you can't say no, then it's not a promise. It's like, you know, somebody twisting your arm behind your back. Both parties are knowledgeable, meaning they know what they're talking about. Both parties have the means to deliver the promise, okay? And then both parties have to agree on what done means, to the point that we have 2 different statuses for work. One is done, and we also have done, okay? Done means that the guy receiving the work also agrees that it's done. And it's done. It's not done until it's done. And an Irish colleague of mine, said in Ireland, we also have done expletive that I can't say. Done. done, F done. Okay. That's just for Ireland.
Absolutely. And this highlights the importance of having that agreement between all the parties involved, which in your case, I imagine means that the different specialties involved in one of those promises all agree what done means.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that. It's been very enlightening. Thank you, Luca.
A pleasure.
All right, I hope you liked this episode. But before you hit next episode, here's the deal. This podcast is powered by people like you, the members who wanted more than just inspiration. They wanted real tools and real connection to people who are practicing Agile every day. We're talking access to over 700 hours of Agile Gold, CTO level strategy talks, summit keynotes, live workshops, e-courses, deep dive interviews, books, and if you're into no estimates, we got the pioneers of no estimates in those deep dive interviews as well. Agile business intelligence, creating product visions, coaching your product owner courses, you name it. You'll get invites to monthly live Q&As with Agile pioneers and practitioners, plus a private Slack community, which is free of all of that AI slop you see everywhere, and of course, without the flame wars. It's a community of practitioners that want to learn and thrive together. It's the best place to connect with community and learn together. So if this podcast has helped you before, imagine what you will get from this podcast membership. So head on over to scrummastertoolbox.org/membership and join the community that's shaping the future of Agile. And we have so much for you. So check out all the details at scrummastertoolbox.org/membership, because listening is great, it's important, but doing it together, that's next level. I'll see you in the community Slack. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.